Okay, Smackdown. Now, before I get started, I want to say at the end of this video, if you want to watch, I'm going to tell you an update on what's going on with this grill of mine. This. I got an update for you. And it's somewhat good, but it's not great. Let's go through what we got. Was this a good show? Honestly, it did what it needed to do. It's setting up for when they come back to TV. Look, we know they recorded this. We know they recorded it. No one is actually doing anything right now. Impact is showing nothing but reruns of their previous work. WWE did do recordings like AEW ahead of time, so both rosters from both companies are home with their families for Christmas and looks like also New Year. So that's what we got. Now, was this mostly building into Royal Rumble? Yes. The first match for this, well, I'm not going to talk about the Holiday Havoc. I'm going to do the other things first before I talk about the women. But let's talk about what we got with the first semifinal match. Let me give it to you like this. For the U.S. title tournament semifinal match, when it came to Carmelo Hayes, I'm going to tell you this. The last time Carmelo Hayes was on the roster months ago, if you saw my NXT review and saw what they did on that Raw, because he was on Raw, he jobbed his ass out and he looked like a bitch. Then when it came to NXT, worse yet, he jobbed his ass out and he looked like a bitch. That's how bad it was for Carmelo Hayes, and it took him months to get where he is today. So when I saw the semifinals, I was worried. I know there would be people to say Triple H would not screw him over. It's not about that. It's about what would they do that will give him what he needs going to the roster. Because he's not done yet with NXT. He's going right back. And the situation, what's going on with Trick Williams, what's going on with Ilya Dragunov, is not rectified yet. They're not pulling him up yet. If they did, he would have already been on the roster. So the question's going to be, what will this give NXT this Tuesday? That's going to be the question, because if there's no continuity, it doesn't help NXT. And it definitely doesn't help Carmelo Hayes to close off the story for him, counting on how long he still stays. So I didn't expect Triple H to flat out job his ass out, but I did expect him to job. There's no way that KO was going to job here. He was going to do it. And I didn't expect Carmelo Hayes to go up against Logan Paul. This Logan Paul. So, we had a decently good match. And in the end, Carmelo did job like I expected. Yes, he got a handshake from KO, no problem. But I wasn't surprised with what I got. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to even get any further than when he lost. Well, see it, when he went up against Finn months ago, he looked like a bitch. I'm sorry, he did. He busted his ass and didn't mean a damn thing. That's what happened. Here he looked better. There's no problem with that. So I am glad compared to months ago, he was treated better when he went up against Grayson Waller last week and now gets beaten by KO, and he looked good while doing it, and KO shook his hand, not bitched him out. Good. But you wonder what's going to happen to him on this Tuesday. Will this be added to the story there? Because this is going to be a big question. If Triple H and HBK are not at least somewhat working together, this is going to mess up NXT. I'm sorry, because there are people watching NXT and Raw or SmackDown. They are watching it. So the question is going to be done well. Next match, which at the end of it, I'm going like, really? And then I'm going like, really? Again? Because that's what I felt. Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar, another semifinal match. Now, before the match happened, we did get 2 vid packs from a Logan Paul. Of course, he had to do something. He had to say something before the match, for each. And he sounded all right. I'm going to tell you, whether you like Logan or not, look, I got to say this. Do I like Logan as a person? Generally, no. Not because that he's stinking rich and he's a bastard or he's white. I don't care about that. One thing that got me upset personally is what he did in the Suicide Forest. That's what I don't like him much. Now, if I knew him as someone I grew up with him, maybe I could look past what he did in the forest. Because he purposely went in there when he was told not to. That's me. So I don't personally like him, but I don't hate him. As a pro wrestler, part-time, he's doing very well and people are interested in him. And there's no way you can take that away from him. So the vid packs he did made perfect sense. It was fine. And him being brash made sense. But when I saw Santos... Look, let me give it to you like this. Didn't like the match between Bobby and Santos. No problem. It was fine. They weren't that bad. But it was obvious that Bobby should have won the match because Santos Escobar didn't stand a chance against Bobby. There had to be a reason why he had to win. And I knew there had to be a reason. If he won, there's got to be a reason. And there was. Two guys came out of nowhere, beat up on the Street Profits, and then distracted a Bobby, and he lost. And the ones that are there are the ones that I'm going like, really? They would go there. And it's Alberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. He's now working with Carrillo and Angel Garza. So the LWO is no longer in his corner. He now has another family. Maybe he'll do La Familia. You never know. As I believe that's how they pronounce it. He may even call it like that. I don't know. So the question's going to be, are the LWO going to go up against Santos, Angel Garza, and Alberto Carrillo? So it's going to be one family versus another. That's the way it looks. Because once El Toro and Joaquin Wilde comes back, and Ray comes back, and County of Carlito is still there, because I don't even know if Carlito's still even in the company. Because I don't know. I don't know what's happened to Carlito. We haven't seen him for weeks. Maybe it's because he's injured. Maybe because they have nothing for him. He's just sitting in the back. I don't know. So there's no way to tell. But I can say this. If it's family versus family, I will not be surprised. I'm just saying it. Now, let's get to North American Championship. Dragon Lee versus Butch. Look, did I believe Dragon Lee was going to win? Yes. Did I believe Butch was going to make it look good? Yes. Did I believe Butch was going to get his butt kicked when you saw Pretty Deadly in the back? Yeah. And then you hear Nick Aldis say, you want him? New Year's Revolution, get yourself a partner. And I'm going like, what does this really mean? Are they really having anything for Butch? Because I'm going to be honest here. I don't care who is booking this. I don't care if it's Triple H. I don't care if it's Bruce Pritchard. I don't care if it's Vince McMahon. I don't care if it's Ari Emanuel or his daughter. Because I believe his daughter is also part of the creative process. I don't care who it is. You look at Butch. You look like you have no idea what to do with him. And I don't care what anyone else says. This is not great booking for most of these characters. And I've heard them say, well, they need time to build. Well, Butch has been around for quite a while. And Sheamus hasn't been there. Now you've done something with Rich Holland where he's not there. So if you're going to break them all up the way they have, at least have a plan. And I don't even see a plan for him. I don't. Now, if he does have one months later, fine. I'll be glad. But as it stands right now, I've seen nothing for Butch. It was like this with the Brawling Brutes with Sheamus. They were high. Sheamus went. Rich is here. This is Butch. He's gotten his butt kicked a couple of times. He has been losing. The storyline between him and Rich Holland makes no sense. You guys tell me what you think. I'm just saying. Now, Holiday Havoc fight. 4-on-4. 8 women's match. We got Damage Control. We have Bianca Belair. We got Michin. We got Zelina Vega. And we got the Shoutzy. What was that? What? Guys, you tell me below. What did you think of this match? And I want to say this. If you watch the show, the crowd sounded like it was mostly canned pops or murmurs. It was almost no excitement until the end of the show or when you saw like Randy Orton or LA Knight. When it came to this match, there wasn't a lot of interest in it. And at first, you only focus on what was in the ring, not around the entire ring. Like, you got 8 women, majority of them are fighting outside the ring, and then you focus in the ring only. And yeah, eventually they started focusing on each woman, mostly individually, and then in pairs, but it fell apart. Look, I'm not going to tell you that a street fight, because that's what it was. It was an 8-woman street fight. That's what that was. And you only could get pin and submission in the ring. I can understand it. But what were we doing? Very little seen outside. Most of it was inside with only 2 women in it. A few times they had almost 3 or 4 women inside the ring. But in the end, it was not really much. And then guess who shows up? After we've not seen them for 4 months? Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, and they're not going after Katana. They're not going after Chance and Carter. They go after the Kairi Sane and the Asuka. They attack them both for no reason. I'm like, I know they can't go to Raw, even though they don't follow the damn brand split. They don't go to Raw. Where's Chance and Carter? Shouldn't they have shown up on Raw? And wouldn't it have been good to at least set up Isla Dawn and Alba Fire to start being one of the contenders for it? No. They go after the former Kabuki Warriors, which is like, what? I'm just, really? And yes, Damage Control won. And it was, no, not Damage Control won. I'm sorry. It was not Damage Control who won. It was Michin who got the damn pin. It was the Faces who won. Michin got it on Io Shirai. I'm saying Shirai instead of Sky. So next week, she's getting a match, I believe. So I understand. They're doing something with Michin. And I do have something to say about Michin in a minute, but this is what we got. It was like really confusing. Now, let's get to the stuff that happened in the back. We got a moment that, if you know me, if you see me for the last couple of years, I've told you the true world champion before Roman Reigns was Nick Aldis. He held that title for almost 3 years. Over 1,000 days, nearing 1,100 days. He was what? 1,043 days. He was nearing 1,100. He had 60 days left before he reached 1,100. And I said it before a Roman Reigns broke that record, that it was a Nick Aldis, a true world champion. Had it for 2 years, held it, and did everything with it. Went from heel to face and back to, well, he went to face, then heel, then face again, before he dropped it and before he ended his time in NWA. So for me personally, seeing that Roman Reigns is telling Paulie, get him in here, call him in, and you see 2 longest running champions in recent memory, one nearly 3 years and one who literally is now 3 years in a Roman Reigns. 2 years and I think 8 or 9 months for a Nick Aldis, and now a 3-year run so far with a Roman Reigns. For me personally, seeing both of them like that, and seeing that my boy Nick was not taking no shit from a Roman Reigns, and he was getting upset that, one, that the setup for the triple threat before the Royal Rumble, he's saying simply, I know you're new here, and I do like you. You got a little spunk because of the way he acted beforehand when Roman told a Paulie, leave, and he didn't know it was him. He says, I don't really care. He said, I like you. That made me happy to see that maybe, hopefully one day, if Nick is physically capable, I wouldn't mind seeing Nick Aldis go up against Roman. I would not mind seeing him go up against him. And that's not him, Nick Aldis, going against him, Roman Reigns. No. Him, Roman Reigns, going against him, Nick Aldis, who worked in the oldest known company that had all the other companies under its umbrella named the NWA. I'm saying it whether you like it or not, bitches. I'm not being rude, but I thought that would be funny. But you get my point. It was a nice segment, and Roman didn't like it, and you saw he did not like that he couldn't control. He controlled Adam Pearce. He cannot control Nick Aldis, which is a good thing going forward because we don't know what they're going to do with Nick anyway. At least keeping him strong as a general manager could also keep him strong if he becomes a pro wrestler officially again. Now, let's go to the opening with AJ, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. Let me give it to you like this. Let me get the last match out. I'm swinging around. AJ versus A Stolen Sequoia. Now, you see from my title, I didn't say anything about the title. Dark Country AJ is here. This person you see, I don't know if anyone's watched TNA in the past. Before AJ left because of Dixie Carter, and he took the damn title and traveled around the country and around the world. He went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, started collecting titles there. He went to everywhere. The only place he didn't go was NWA. It was not in great shape in 2013. Before Nick Aldis, you could forget about NWA, but he went everywhere else except WWE. He went to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe he went to Pro Wrestling No. I believe he went to AAA, and he still held the TNA title. He left. He came back. He gave them back the title. He finished with them, and then eventually went to WWE. That's the way it worked with AJ. But before he left, at one point, he became so frustrated in storyline that he became Dark Country AJ. If you never heard, what was it? Evil Ways music. I believe that was the name of it, Evil Ways. That song is one of the most favorite that I can remember from TNA with AJ still in it when he was just dressed in black. He wasn't playing Let's Get Ready to Fly. He was playing Evil Ways. That is how dark AJ got. And when you see this character, for me personally, it reminds me of Dark AJ from TNA. A character who's done, who did not like how he got treated, who got buried the way he did. He is done because when you saw the OCs with Luke, with Carl, and Michin, she didn't notice after what happened in the Holiday Havoc match, her black bra was showing. No, let me give it to you like this. I can understand why Keith Lee loves that woman because I'm not saying she ain't a beautiful woman. Damn, that woman's gorgeous. Mia Young is a gorgeous woman. She is. I think she didn't notice that her titties were showing almost. And maybe she did. Maybe she wanted to stay disheveled on purpose to show that she was so excited to see AJ. She hugged him again. She hugged her brother, but he didn't want nothing to do with it. He is done. So when you saw him in this match, he was acting that way. Then the match was DQ'd because of Roman. Then we get let me give it to you like this. Everyone decided to come out. Everybody. Roman, you got a little bit of Jimmy, who came out second to last. You got the Viper, who got a very good pop from the crowd that was there because the crowd was not popping very much at all. They were just murmuring. And I was wondering if that was canned pops at all. Not until LA Knight came out did they pop big, huge. And I did, if anybody says, hey, did you hear about the rumor about LA Knight being frustrated because of what's going on? Yes, I did. I did hear, and I did hear on a couple of other channels. And I did see on one website, they showed an article where LA Knight is somewhat frustrated because of what's going on when it came back to CM Punk and Randy Orton. I do not know if it's valid or not. It's still mostly rumor. So don't think I don't know. I do know. I try not to get too deep into the weeds. When they say deep in the weeds, looking deep into articles, knowing more stuff, and knowing what the dirt sheets, I rather stay like most people who don't look it up to be surprised. But in this situation, when I knew how LA Knight is, I had to find out if it was true or not. So it's still rumor. But everybody was there. And eventually, you see all three of them arguing since they're going to have a match. Because we do know they're going to have a match in the very beginning of the show. They're all having a match because Nick Aldis made that arrangement, as you know, when I was talking about Roman meeting Nick Aldis and saying, hey, you made this triple threat that's going to set up for Royal Rumble. Interesting, but you should have passed it by me first because I am the tribal chief. So what we have here is a bit of a dynamic. All three of them are fighting one another, but the person that was the most interesting to me is a possible old school style dark country AJ Styles. I don't know how long he's going to do this. I don't know if people are going to get behind it very much. Because they did in TNA. I did in TNA. But if people are not familiar with this type of character, that is from AJ, who's just wearing black. He's not coming out. He's not coming out really excited. He's very stone cold. He does not care. They're going to be I'm not sure they're going to feel it. But this is just me. And I hope you enjoy this. And before we get done, I will address, as I said in the beginning of this video, an update about this. It's taken me a couple of days to mostly decompress because I've been very, very anxiety ridden and not showing a lot of depression, but severe stress from anxiety. As you guys know, I have 2 wisdom teeth here. I had these 2 removed in 2019. And it looked like in the last last month or so, my teeth started moving. And I thought my wisdom teeth were growing again. And I was getting very badly freaked out, especially after everything I've gone through. Looks like I might have caught COVID, which I think I probably did. Then I saw someone who died literally 5 feet away from my apartment building. Then I got sick again with stress from my stomach, which messed with my rest of my body. And then knowing that my Medicaid, I don't fit the criteria anymore. I cannot keep it. I could not renew. And then these were going on. It was just one thing after another. It was like, kick me in my ass, kick me. So it's been very frustrating. So as I said in my video, I was going to see if I can get my teeth taken out while I still had time. The 19th is when I tried to do it. But I could not do it because on the 19th, I went to a dental oral surgeon. They said they cannot remove this tooth. This tooth is in a very strange position because with wisdom teeth, if it's pointing like this normally, that's great. They could just be pop, that's it. But normally, there's a lot of people have it like this. I didn't know that back in 2019. I thought it was rare, but it's actually common. It happens. But in my case, it's not common. You see, this tooth, not the top one right here, that's in the back. It's this one in my jaw right here. Instead of it being pointing like this or like this, it's like this. It's literally not here, not there. It's here. It's in a funky angle. And worse yet, the tooth itself literally was very close to the nerve in your face that you can feel. So the dentist told me, it was a woman, nice lady. She said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Your tooth is very close to the nerve. If I do this wrong and I take this tooth out and I cut that nerve, you will feel nothing in your face and possibly for the rest of your life. What you need to do is go and get a 3D image of the tooth and your face so they know exactly where the tooth is so it can be removed safely. But she did say, if you want, I can remove the top tooth. And I'm going like, nope, no. I want them both out because as far as I was concerned at the time, my top teeth were the ones that are moving because my teeth were not this bad on the top. So Wednesday, I managed to get to a hospital, and because they referred me to several different hospitals, I managed to get to one on that same day, Tuesday, and I got an appointment for Wednesday. So I went Wednesday. I went in, and the 3D imaging equipment was not working. Kick me. But, and this is where the good part is, it's not over yet. The good part was the dentist took another x-ray of my teeth. And the dentist there looked at my teeth, and it was another woman, shocking, another woman. She said, "What's the situation? Is your bottom hurting?" I said, "No, my top teeth seem to be moving and it's bothering me here. And I want to know, what can I do about that? Because I was going to get this tooth taken out, and since they said I should have them both out, I was going to take them both." The dentist told me, and I asked her, on top of that, are my wisdom teeth still growing? She said, "No, your teeth are finished. And they don't seem to be interfering with your mouth, except the one tooth back here is a little close to the next tooth, but it's not damaging it." She also said that from what we can tell, you will still need to get a 3D image, but from what we can tell from where the tooth is, it looks like it is able to be removed and we won't hurt the nerve. But also she said a couple of things. She said, one, you have very good teeth, even though they've been drilled beyond. Guys, I have 15, I say, fillings in my mouth. She said, even with the fillings, you got good teeth. On top of that, she was shocked to know how old I was. Guys, this woman was standing in front of me, and I gave my records, and she didn't know how old I was. And when she looked at me and I said, well, for what I've been through, I had to explain some of the stuff I've been sick with because it was required. She said, for someone as young as you, you've been through a lot. And I said, what do you mean young? I'm not that young. She said, how old are you? I said, I'm 52. And she looked at me like, you know that type of look when you see someone goes, oh, what? She looked at me in shock. And shock. Literally said, wait, what? You're 52? And I said, yeah. I was actually surprised that she didn't know because she had my record in front of me. And she was like, how? You look young. What's your secret? That was a bit that made me feel at least a tiny bit better. But I'm not going to lie to you. After I left the office, because I was told the best option for me, I don't need these out. They could stay in my mouth for the rest of my life. I'll be fine. The problem I'm going to have, and I didn't know this, as you get older, your teeth have a tendency to begin to move in your mouth. I didn't know that. Even though I worked in a nursing room, it's not something I overheard a doctor or a nurse or a CNA say. So for me, I didn't know that your teeth can move, and particularly once you get something removed and there's a gap, because I got 2 big gaps here, your teeth can start moving in your mouth. So she said the best option would be to possibly get braces or Invisalign. See if you can find out about it, and you can go to, an orthodontist and find out if you can get some braces in to try and straighten your teeth back. So that's what's probably going to happen next. If one, I can afford it, and 2, if I can handle the pain, because I've talked to a couple of people that got braces, not Invisalign, but braces. They say it hurts. So I don't know. So my journey for this is not over. But I thought you guys should know, because I know many of you were worried about me. You gave nice things to say. You said nice prayers, and that was very kind to me personally. And I'm going to tell you the truth. When I got home after I went to the dentist, the hospital dentist, got some food that I now know I can eat on this side, I just started to cry. I'm not a crybaby, but knowing that all that stress, it just made me just had tears. If you're in my position, you probably would go for the similar, or maybe just feel thankful. Admittedly, I don't feel 100% thankful because I still have anxiety and depression, but I am understanding that it's not that bad. But this is what it is, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And just to say, I'm going to be releasing another video that should be about Liv Morgan in a couple of days. Peace.